For this character, I'm looking to create a tank type character. Somebody who can sustain and inflict a lot of damage. Like the previous character, the Jester, I'm loosely thinking about the fantasy genre style. Reflecting on this decision allows me to realize that I've reached a point where I should be designing characters specific to a genre. Do I really want to investigate further the fantasy genre and the stylistic traits that help create its magical atmosphere? Is this an atmosphere I want my own narrative to use? Prematurely, I know that I'm not interested in creating a utopian setting. Going against my instincts, I want to continue this character's design to see if I can remove some of the stereotypes from my head. Picturing this character as someone who can deal out a lot of damage, I try to make his stature appear large. He's in an alert pose. The shapes around his neck and shoulders are supposed to be armor, with the funnel shape facing his front being some sort of turret. I think I made a bad choice here. The turret appears too dainty and nimble. The armor piece serves little function when I designed it, but in hindsight, perhaps it could be a cartridge holder for his ammunition. Either way, it's in quite an awkward position and is bound to make the character more clumsy because of it. I find myself going back to the clownish sort of look as seen in the pattern on his chest and the shape on his jacket lapels. Maybe my instinct to portray fantasy as a court jester type look comes back to how I see fun characteristics in the fantasy genre. I like to add a more serious tone to my characters. If a character's face is solemn or dark, I find myself a lot more intrigued as to what their background could be. There's a lot more guesswork to be had interpreting somebody's expression who is grim, as opposed to someone who is happy. While this may interest me, such decisions could confuse the viewer. In relation to this design, his face was bothering me, as his blank expression had him neither happy or sad. I add some strings to his lips, to make him appear as though he cannot talk, sort of like protesters on a hunger strike. To me, this makes a much more interesting dynamic. Here we have somebody who has all the bulk to persuade opposers physically, yet he chooses to prove his points through self-mutilation. The way I am approaching the details and rendering towards the end of the character reminds me that I need to get more deliberate. I am depleting my shapes and need to gather new ideas. To strengthen the individuality of each character, I should challenge my preconceptions of their appearance by adding opposite features. Breaking down self-inflicted stereotypes can help add features I'm attracted to using, as well as excite myself to the possibilities of exploring an unfavorable genre.